Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio episode 523. Today is September 13th, 2023. I am one of your hosts, Kyle.
I'm another host, Mo.
And I'm Adriel.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
So busy designing stages and having fun.
Yeah.
Lost track of time.
Have fun in your own time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why don't we get into what we did with guns? And Mo, why don't you start us off?
I went to an IPSC match on Saturday at the Cornwall Handgun Club. I went with my friend Mardig. He didn't shoot in my squad because he registered late, so there was no space in my squad. But I shot with my friends Louie and Lisa. Turned out to be a really nice day. It was six stages. They always do a great job there. And I went in pretty chill. Like I didn't practice at all. They didn't even pick up the pistol since the level 3 that was in July, I think. And I did pretty well. So I was pretty happy and I was like not stressed about it. There was one strong hand only stage and we had to start unloaded. And it was like only 8 rounds, 2 paper and 4 plates. And I did really well on it. I was like the paper to the left, the 4 plates, and then the paper to the right. And I just missed the 4th plate or else it would have been even better. Like I had to take a second shot on it, but I guess I was moving away too fast. And then trying to think of anything else that from it that stood out. Again, it was like just a perfect day, like not too hot and lots of good people there. They always put on a good stages. They're always challenging and fun. That was it for that match. And then I had mentioned on the show long ago that I had ordered a rimfire barrel for my Voodoo from IBI, and that was I think in May, and it just shipped this week. So just over 4 months later, it is on the way. So I should be getting it next week, and as long as it's before Wednesday, I'll be able to show it off. And then at some point, I'll get it installed.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to trying it out. There's nothing coming up this weekend. There's nothing to register for yet. There's going to be another IPSC match in a couple weekends. The CRPS Nationals, the final, which is in Avonmore, is going to be in 2 weekends. I won't be able to go to that because it's a 2-day event, and I can't commit for both days. So I don't really want to sign up just to shoot one day. Would you guys do that? Go and do half a match?
I know people who have done it.
Yeah.
I'd try and do the whole thing, but I guess if you can't do the whole thing, at least maybe
it's
do
too
half,
cool.
Get something in.
Yeah, maybe.
It also depends on how busy I've been with shooting too. Like if there's nothing around, then it's like, okay, yeah, I gotta get every last little bit in.
Okay. Yeah.
You can. Yeah.
That makes sense. So maybe I will. It's not that far either, so it's like an hour from home. So then that's really it for me. How about you, Adriel?
Oh, I've been up to a couple of things. Over the weekend, I did a double header at Sherwood Park, so 2 maple seeds, Saturday and Sunday. Good time. Camped out there. Had a blast. Yeah. Good people. And the Sunday was an all-ladies maple seed, which was fantastic. And yeah, it's really good. And I got this in the mail. This is a BCL Siberian SRV2, I think is what they call it. A little bit lower here. Yeah, this is a tester one that's going through the Discord group of the Canadian firearms enthusiasts. I don't know, torture testers. So this thing's got 3,000 rounds through it, and I'm going to put a couple hundred through it. Something that I really like about it, like it's got the ping pong paddle on the side there, like that, like seeing that. it's got the BCL proprietary bolt drop as well. The this guy right up there,
Oh yeah.
which sometimes works.
I was gonna say it works really well.
Wow, that's good.
Or the ping pong paddle on the side works every time. Yeah, so it's got that. It's got a nice big magazine release button, which actually works pretty decently.
Good.
Yeah. Here, you know what? Boom. Let's get some more light on the situation. It's got a folding Zhukov stock on there, which I really like this stock. I'm glad to see more gun manufacturers coming out with rifles that use this stock, because I think it is a great price to performance. Couple of things that kind of stuck out at me. Well, one, the takedown's actually really good. It's got like just a single pin that you kind of push out at the rear there. Yeah. And then open she goes. And then this is all just a single, like the springs are captured.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's very nice to take out. Super easy to, like, that's pretty easy in terms of how the 180s come apart and go back together again. I like that. Back she goes. That's it. That's pretty nice. Charging handle's a little bit small. So there's a charging handle right there. It's not bad. It's just kind of small. I think if you had like a turret on the side of your scope, like an illumination dial or something like that, you might start running into that kind of crap. Or if you had like big nuts coming out the side from your rings or your base. But I've just left this side clean, and there's nothing interfering with that charging handle at all right now. So it's a little bit better. The safety is super stiff on this thing. I don't know what's going on, but it is super stiff. And the trigger pull on it is almost 9 pounds. Like it's, well, here, let me show you. I am holding onto this rifle, and it's not firing.
Wow.
There it goes. Now, I think that's okay. And the reason why I think that's okay is because I'd rather have a Gucci trigger or the cheapest, shittiest trigger ever. Cheapest, shittiest, that's fine. I'm fine with that. The expectation is you're just going to replace this. We'll give you a mil-spec, single-stage piece of garbage trigger. You will replace it. And that's fine with me. I can replace it with either a $300 trigger or a $100 trigger or whatever I want. And I get to choose what I put in there. And I think they do sell them with Trigger Tech triggers as well, if you want like a nice one, right? The charging handle is non-reciprocating, so if I've got the bolt lock back, it can just go up to the front there. That's fine. Yeah. Other than that, I'm going to attempt to shoot it at a match on Thursday night at the Fun Shoot. So we'll see how that goes. From what the results that some of the other people have been getting, it might not go that well. But, we'll see. We'll see. What else have I been up to? Oh, yeah. So I took a bunch of photos of those, uploaded that. I got a couple of reviews that I'm trying to post right now. One on that Cabela's Covenant 1-8 scope. And I got those shotguns and other SFRC stuff. That should be here tomorrow. So I got a couple shotguns and a whole whack of cleaning kit and all that kind of stuff. And then this weekend, I am going to Fort Mac to do Maple Seed up there. So I'll be driving up Friday night, doing the Maple Seed on Saturday, and then hightailing it back, driving back all in one day. It's going to be a long Saturday. And I think that's about it. I've been looking at some other stuff online. I'll mention it when I get to new gun stuff, though, because I think that's the right place to show my temptations. Oh, I got some ammo. So I got some bullets. They're 124 grain. Who cares? I got some CCI Quiet. It's 45 grain subsonic, 835 FPS. So well subsonic and a little bit of a heavier bullet, 45 grain, to shoot grouse and that kind of thing with. That's what I think I'm going to do with it. Yeah, but the price was right, and my buddy of mine was buying some. I'm like, yeah, put a box of those in for me too. So we will see. But this stuff's nice and quiet, so Good for small game hunting when you don't want them to fly off and that kind of thing. And yeah, that's about it. What about you, Kyle?
Well, I'm prepping for a match this weekend. USPSA match here locally, so got a meeting tomorrow night to go over the stages and everything, and then shoot Saturday. So got the extractor on my STI retuned up. I think I'm just gonna shoot the single gun at least until USPSA figures out their classifier stuff, because I'm still missing a ton of classifiers from online, so I'm still unclassified for USPSA, and so I think they're missing like 8 classifiers for me. And
the ringer.
Yeah, okay. The last one actually
show up and go straight to a solid C or B.
Yep, exactly. Solid C. Yeah. I did order, I got an email that the optics ray slides for the GX4 were in, so I decided to jump on that and order that. But Taurus likes to take their time on shipping, so I haven't gotten a shipping notification. So maybe in a couple weeks it'll arrive. And
they got to put it in the package in Brazil, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then other than that, I've just been kind of planning and kind of trying to figure out what the next stage of my gun room / studio will be. So
exciting.
And got a little bit of it set up here, just trying to get stuff figured out, but technology is not liking me right now, and so that is it for me. So we'll get into upcoming events. And Maple Seeds, a few just opened, or there's just a few open now.
Yeah, they're closing down for the year pretty much.
Oh, this next one, the Edmonton Gun Show, is September 16th, 17th. That reminds me, there's a gun show here this weekend that I'm going to try and go to. So, and then CRPS Nationals in Avonmore, Ontario, on September 23rd and 24th. Mm-hmm. Do you guys know if that's on practice score or?
Yes, it is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, and there's still some spots left.
Cool.
And
on to the news. Not really for Canada right now, but Wyndham Weaponry is closing. They shut down their online ordering as of yesterday. And Wolverine Guns and Tackle is closing. And they'll be closed September 30th. So they got 15% off everything. And that's in Wolverine, not Wolverine Supplies, Wolverine Guns and Tackle.
Yeah.
So, and this was getting typed in just as I was reading it, and it's where I live now. The governor of New Mexico decided that she was gonna grow a pair and decided to ban the carry of firearms in Albuquerque and the surrounding Bernalillo County. That same day, Friday, she was served with a lawsuit from a gun rights activist group.
Multiple.
And by now there are 4 lawsuits. And then I was watching something, Guns and Gadgets. It's a bunch of 2A information, and he showed a letter from the Attorney General for New Mexico, and he said that he would not defend the governor in the upcoming lawsuits because it is a clear violation of the Constitution.
Nice.
And really great, because even people like David Hogg are coming up saying, can't do that. You don't have the power to do that. So
who would think, like, a country with a constitution that limits the government's power? That's weird.
I know.
That's really weird.
Insane.
Yeah. Foreign idea.
Yeah, I was very surprised when I read that she tried to do that, and I was like, how? And
I saw that there was a protest of people open carrying.
Yes, there was an open carry protest. Yeah. Yeah, law enforcement.
And not just like revolvers, but ARs and AK.
Yeah. Well, yeah, even the law enforcement said, no, we're not going to enforce this. We're not putting our officers in that position.
Excellent.
So So yeah, hopefully that is the end of her. I think she should just be removed from office. Like, okay, you tried it. Congratulations. Now you just got yourself kicked out of politics.
That'd be a good moneymaker for everyone who sues.
Yeah. Gabriel's asking about what about the winter seeds?
We'll see. Like November is my hunting season, so I'm not going to be doing any maple seeds during then. And everyone says like, "Oh yeah, let's do something in December." And sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's not okay. And
True.
it's Hoth in Alberta, and not just cold, but fucking cold.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he's in Quebec, so he'd be going to an Ontario one, so it would be Kelly. We have to get Kelly out in the winter.
Oh, she'll do winter seeds. But winter in Ontario is not bad at all. If there's like a lake, you guys go ice skating on the Great Lakes and stuff, and do winter seeds, and it's fine, right?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's like
Right
it's like a snow globe, kind of a.
Yeah, but like warm and not cold.
Oh dear.
On to new gun stuff.
Yeah, let's get on to new gun stuff. And new gun stuff is brought to you by Bullseye North. Need a new boomstick? Bullseye North is Canada's shooting superstore and a proud supporter of the CCFR, with a wide selection of guns and top trending gear for any shooter. Free shipping over $200. Some exclusions do apply, like ammo, and you can subscribe to their weekly newsletter to get first access to the hottest deals.
All right, and I will share my screen as I'm madly like throwing all these tabs over to my other window. Yeah, that's the one.
Tap.
Bullseye. So the thing that they had that I thought was kind of interesting, the Rossi Tuffy Youth 410. It's like a Dragunov stock kind of a thing. What do you call that? Thumbhole stock? Kind of a thumbhole stock.
Yeah, thumbhole stock, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a single shot 410, but it looks kind of neat.
Hinge action.
$299. Hinge action. No, sorry, I don't see hinge on here anymore. That must be something else. Hinge? Nope, doesn't say hinge action on there. I'll have to go look and see if I can find a hinge action somewhere in Canada. See if that's a thing anymore. Maybe they stopped selling those in the 80s. Anyways, yeah, that's a thing. Kyle, do you want to talk about the Benelli M2?
Sure. So I saw a post, Mark Roth, for those who don't know, Roth Performance, big time builder of shotguns. Basically, he was one of the big modifiers of the M2, primarily for 3-gun. And he put up a post where he got his hands on one of the brand new Benelli M2s. And I think Benelli just hired a new designer because they completely screwed it over. A couple good things about it. They put the bolt and the shell catch from the Ethos in there. So you got a 2-piece hinged shell catch, which is nice and nicer than a single piece. But then the load port, yeah, there's a picture of it right there. The load port cutout is opposite. It's cut down right at the trigger guard and then rises as it goes towards the tube, instead of sloping down towards the tube. And then they moved where their serial number is. So now their serial number is right where you need to cut that out.
Oh.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which I did get a letter from the CFO years ago saying that I could move the serial number, so that's not a huge issue. You just have to re-engrave your gun. But yeah, and then the safety, they changed the geometry of the safety, so now aftermarket safeties for the Benelli M2 do not fit in there. They got rid of the Comfort Tech stock and changed the receiver up so that you can't put a Comfort Tech stock on there. And it was a complete remodel, and it completely screwed it over.
This is for the regular M2. This is not the SP version or the Speed version.
Well,
correct?
The Speed was just an M2, but with a couple other extra parts and opened load port.
What if they're just pushing people to buy those models and not mod the we'll call it the base model?
Yeah.
They're intentionally being hostile to their users. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. That's
Not
I think you're onto something, Mo, because a lot of
Yeah.
no,
companies
but
do that these
it's like
days.
because it's because you're going to spend
Mhm.
less on the basic one, let's call it the base model, and then upgrade it yourself or have it customized versus them selling it to you for $1,000 on top, let's say.
But Mo, didn't you send me your SP
Yeah,
to
yeah.
open up the load port that was already
Yeah,
opened
but
up more?
that was the I guess the first iteration of it.
Like,
The second one,
it
because
was
that
still
was
better.
called
I think
the
that
SP, but then the actual speed version, the next one after that, the load port was a lot more cut out than their first go at it, I guess. But
yeah, well, they used to have the 3-gun as well, and all of them need to be cut out more.
okay, I was
It
just
just seems
thinking
really weird for them to like take the benchmark for all action shooting or action shotgun shooting, and then like, okay, no, we're gonna totally redesign it and screw it up.
Those guys don't know what they're doing. Those 3-gunners.
Yeah,
We're gonna do it different.
yeah. So
No, Mo, I think you're onto something. I think this is hostile design so that you're forced to buy their go fast version.
yeah, because
and
I
not
would
the
be
regular.
surprised they announced this and then they announced the Speed 2 or something.
It's like
super
yeah,
super
$1,000 more.
super speed and it's $1,000 more, right? So
yeah, yeah. Who knows? But it,
You get a round fucking look at this.
yeah,
What the heck? This okay, you press it in. This is just junk. Jeez.
yeah.
Hmm.
we'll see what
So
happens.
now you gotta
Awful.
look at what era of M2 you're buying.
Mm-hmm. All right, off the M2s. We're going to be covering the TACOM items next week. We have a listener and guest, Mike. He's going to come on and cover that. So stay tuned.
Should be good.
There is a 25% rebate on some Bushnell products right now. So if you're looking for a scope or something like that, check that out. I got a couple from GoTenda here. First is they've got the Mossberg 802 Plinkster bolt action for $259. I know that Mossberg makes good shotguns. This is probably just some Brazilian 22 made by CBC. CBC is the name of the company. It's not our CBC.
Yeah, I
Their
don't think our
CBC is a
CBC.
little bit
I
more
don't
to
think our
guns
CBC is making rifles.
in Brazil. Yeah, no. But anyways, they got that. This one's I'm a little bit more interested in the Rinko M334. This is like a bolt action woodstock 308 rifle, hinged floor plate, kind of like the rifles of yesteryear, but made new. I would ditch the crappy looking rear sight and front sight and probably just go with a scope on this thing, but looks classy.
Have you ordered one?
No, but I am looking at hunting rifles right now. My boys are both hunting age for deer, and so I need
Okay.
another deer rifle.
Okay.
Unless I use mine $1,000. Give the 6.5 to Creedmoor to the older one, the 243 to the younger one, and I take the M1 Garand. Seems to make sense. Maybe, I don't know.
It does, yeah.
Tenda has Magtech standard velocity, so SV lead round nose cases of 5,000 rounds for $399. That's pretty good. Getting the world's healing, where we've got that 8-cent 22 ammo again. So
This healing.
I don't know where this stuff is made or like if it's any good. The fact that they've got it with a Rossi isn't a terrific point to be made on the product page there, but it's subsonic. It's standard velocity. Should be all right. I don't know. Curious if anyone out there has tried it. Magtech 22 made in Brazil. That's probably why they have the Rossi then, because it's also made in Brazil. Neat. Now, is it any good? Because I've shot some of the Magtech 9mm stuff, and some of it, the steel case stuff, was a terribly stupid idea, and it rusts to itself. So if you shoot in the rain, your cartridges rust to each other inside the magazine, and they don't feed anymore. because it's not a coated steel case, just a regular steel case.
That's a problem.
And I know some of their brass stuff had like a stepped case, so inside the case steps down to give lower room, so that they can use like a light powder charge, which is a bit cheap. But I don't know, this stuff's pretty cheap. Here, I want to do the little badger first. Little badger takedown extreme rifle that Marstar has. It looks so weird. Oh my god, it looks so weird.
That does.
Look at this. Look at this thing. It's like, it looks like it should have like a pistol grip or something, but it doesn't.
Wow.
It doesn't have any of that. Yeah.
It's like a skeleton.
Look at how it folds down. Look at that. Isn't that wild? And you can get it in a tube conveniently.
What's the weight? What's the weight of that? Does it say in the detail?
Nothing. Come on. This is not going to weigh anything. Here, let's see. Additional information, maybe? Nope. No weight on there. It's not going to weigh anything.
Can you pocket carry that?
Maybe in your pants. Oh, it's got the stock that can hold the 22 shells. I think the other one does too. But there's nothing to this thing. Holy crap. For how little you get, it's $300. You can get a bolt action rifle that takes, you can get a semi-auto for $300. Never mind a single shot with a pipe for a stock.
A pipe.
Where do you cheek weld on this thing? On your own hand, maybe?
Oh.
I want to review one of these things, but I don't want to pay for one. If any reviewers, maybe in the Alberta area, have one of these things, let me know. I want to try it out.
Send it over.
And then this one I'm a little bit more interested in. Inner Surplus had a large shipment of Sweden coming in, and they said they're adding a few hundred new guns every week. So they got a big bad shipment of rifles. Yeah. And this is where you'll find like some of those older, like converted military rifles, as well as some other stuff from Europe that's in here, and America. They've got some American rifles in here that are fairly decently priced. This Remington Woodmaster 742, like that's actually a pretty decent price. It's, the wood stock's in a little bit rough condition, but decent from that aspect. They got a Savage 111 for $395. You can't get that price anymore. Any of the 111s, any of the better action, the non-axis action, are way more expensive than this. Yeah, It's got some like wear and tear to it, but that is a damn good price on a 30-06. That would be very easy to scope and whatnot. And then they got some Mausers and some Winchester Model 70s and that kind of thing that are also very attractively priced. So if you're looking for like a classy rifle, just watch them because they are uploading stuff all the time. Oh, if you want a shotgun for really cheap, if you're like, I kind of want a side-by-side shotgun, but I don't want to pay very much, have I got a deal for you? Yeah, they've got the FEG Monte Carlo. Not much to that recoil pad. It could use a new one. Yeah. But you got a side-by-side for $300. This is the place where I got my Soviet over-under as well. Because you can get down for, they've got like 40 pages of these things. They got hundreds and hundreds of really inexpensive. Oh, you want a shotgun with like an adjustable cheek rest on it, like an over-under? They got that for $395. Yeah.
Damn.
And a Stevens in 30-06, they got that for $400. Again, you're getting an Axis for that price. And a Husqvarna 1722, that's got to be an Anschutz. Because 1722 is an Anschutz model number. This has got to be an Anschutz. Yes, this is an Anschutz.
Huh.
But just relabeled as Hus. This would be like Sears, right? It's a Sears and Roebuck 1722. No, it's an Anschutz. $300. Damn. And a bunch of other crap. So,
Wow. Lots of good browsing there.
Ooh. Well, why don't we get on to our main topic? And since I am planning a 3-gun match for what would be 80% new 3-gun shooters, and for the fact that we always say if you want a match, put one on. we figured it would be a good idea to kind of go over designing stages with the beginner in mind, and might even spill over into the overall putting on a match. But let's start off with designing stages.
Mhm.
So, do you guys have any thoughts on where special things to consider for building a stage for beginners?
Well, just in general, like for for designing out a stage, I like a stage that tests something. Like you can make a quick little burner. Like sometimes a stage is functional for your match. Like I need a burner stage. Okay, you make a burner stage. It's not testing anything specifically. It's just got a couple of different like sight windows. Yeah, like Sean's saying, as much blasting as possible, and and that's the stage.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what the match needs for that particular piece is a blaster stage. But I like stages that test something. They have a bunch of regular shooting, but then they test something. Offhand shooting, strong hand shoot, like one-handed shooting, that kind of thing.
Oh, I'm the same way. I like identifying like what are like two things that you're trying to test or accomplish through a stage, and focus on that instead of just, okay, we're just going to take a bunch of targets and throw them out there and see where they land.
Okay.
Shooting urban prone. I saw they did that at Chaz last month, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was there because it sucks
Okay.
so much.
There's a good element. Shooting urban prone. So you got a match with 80-90% brand new 3-gunners. You know, at that point, assume all they have is like hunting experience in that. Do you throw something like a urban prone shot in there for them?
No.
Yes.
I was gonna say Adriel's from Chaz, so they don't care. They just throw everything out there.
So I would say yes, but I would say that you need to give them instruction before they shoot the stage. You have to say like, "Okay, you're shooting under a car. Have you ever done that before? No one's ever done that before. Okay, in order to do this correctly, you need to lay. If you're for a right-handed shooter, you need to lay on your right side, and you need to prop up the gun with your hand." And with just a little bit of that hand, and you need to get way down underneath that car and make that shot. And I think and I would just instruct them. I would say, here's how you're going to do it. When you get down to the ground, you're going to want to make sure you watch your muzzle direction. When you get back up, you want to watch your muzzle direction. So I would just like guide them through it. But like I would force them to do it because it may make their day. Like they might shoot that match and be like, oh man, they had to shoot urban prone, and it's something I've never done before, and it just like blew my mind, like how cool that was.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And yeah, I wouldn't necessarily or hesitate too much to put something like a urban pro. A couple of things I would hesitate, and I mentioned it before, and I actually have a stage set up here, which later on we'll probably go to. But retreating with, say, a long gun. I mean, if you're into a walled environment, retreating. Actually, I think any retreating should be at a minimum, especially if you've got a match where you got 80-90% beginners.
Yeah, they're not used to running backwards.
Yeah. Even if they've shot USPSA, you're just throwing 2 other guns out at them, and anybody who shot 3-gun can attest. Adding those 2 other guns and having to keep that stage plan, your mind is screwed. So yeah, like a newer shooter having them do a whole ton of retreating, especially out of a walled environment, I would say is a no. Like keep that to a minimum, or avoid it if at all possible.
I would say, so you said 80% new shooters. Not having done a 3-gun match myself, the transition between the different platforms, can that be made so it's more clear when the shooter has to make the change, or more safely, or?
I think you're onto something with the overall stage planning. Make them simple stages, because there have been some stages out there that are extremely complex stage briefs.
Memory stages where they've got a super complex stage breakdown.
Yeah. So right there, yeah. If it's a
Are you
simple stage,
are you ever going from rifle to shotgun back to rifle?
no.
No.
Usually, like you're dump that firearm.
You're
That
dumping the
is
barrel
done.
and
You
then
are
you
not
just-
going back
okay.
to it.
Okay, got it. So that you're
Yeah.
never going back to.
Well, never. Don't say never. Never say never, because there are some weird stuff that happens. USPSA multi-gun nationals a couple years ago, there was a weird rule where they were allowing reholstering of a pistol or letting you put down a gun within a meter of yourself of you, shoot one platform, and then go ahead and pick that back up. So there were guys at USPSA multi-gun nationals that they holstered a pistol, it wasn't considered dead, went to a rifle or something, shot it, dumped it, went back to their pistol.
Interesting. So you would not do that with most
That is,
new shooters.
well, that's not the norm, period.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only instance I can think of where that has actually happened that I've heard of.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people who build different matches out there, so I wouldn't put it past people for making people do it. But keep the stage simple. I'm just a proponent on a match, period. Doesn't matter if it's for experienced or beginner. I don't like big long stage briefs where every step that you take is dictated. I like saying, okay, here's your pistol targets, here's your rifle targets, here's your shotgun targets, here's your dump bins, go figure it out.
Okay.
Or even give them option targets, like, hey, that you can shoot those with your shotgun or your pistol or whatever. Just send those out there, and then it's okay, if you can see them, you can shoot them. It's ultra simple. Worry about your safety rules, that's it.
Those let people shoot the firearm that they're most comfortable with too. So if they're like a pistol shooter and they're like, my shotgun loading's terrible. Okay, do more pistol shooting, right? And that's an option on that stage. I think that's
But it's an
that's
option.
great.
Okay.
And that challenges you as a stage designer too, because I've been to matches where everything's been basically optional. To the point where you could, instead of shooting rifle, you could shoot slugs. And
Okay.
but at those ones, if the match director wanted you to shoot a certain platform, they built it in such a way that, yeah, you had options, but the only option was to shoot it the way they wanted you to shoot it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not an option then. That's not like a good stage design.
Well, I think it.
You know,
I think it is. It spans. It gives a challenge for the stage designer and for the shooter, because,
Okay, so I don't want to make this all about catering to the new shooter, but for the new shooter, what in the stage can you do to kind of ensure a little bit of success, that they're not completely like missing everything?
I know what you can do to make them fail. Make too hard of a shot or too long range of a shot. That will ruin a beginner shooter, and that will actually make them have a bad day. If you put in too many long range targets that are very hard to hit, and or like, let's say they're steel and they're really long range, they'll par out on that target and they won't pass it. And then they'll be frustrated. They'll be like, "Oh man, I suck." Whereas you could pull some other like cute things. You can do like a brown cardboard with a white overlay and just show like a little bit, and they're going to drill them into that white one. As long as it's close, they're going to make a mistake, but they're going to keep going. Like they'll take the penalty. They'll learn about height over bore. That'll be the message for that little bit. But they'll just move on. They're like, I got some penalties, but at least I completed the stage. It's the things that stop completion of the stage or hurt how much of the stage that they complete that really gives them a bad
sours them, turns them off.
Yeah. I think so. That's when I see people have a bad time, is when they can't finish the stage because they just got wrecked by a target. Then they went to war with a target.
Oh, and keeping in mind about long range targets, I think every match director, every stage planner needs to keep that in mind. If you have long range steel out there, it's going to be a longer stage. Like, I would say one long range, one long range target as a general, not even just a beginner. Just when I'm just thinking back to other matches I've been to, like one long range steel can equal as many as 3 or 4 close targets as far as time goes.
Yep, easily. Depending on how the person has to like stabilize themselves and prep to take that shot. Yeah.
A couple other ones is the movement through the stage. So we talked about retreating, but even especially in my situation, I'm not going to be having 100-meter dash, and I don't think if you have a match that you have a lot of beginners shooters, don't have like 100-meter dash in there.
Yeah.
I'm a huge proponent. I think Adriel was trying to start on it. Is everything you do or you're going to make a shooter do in that stage is for a purpose. You know, overall, actually, I'm usually against like 100-meter dash because, you're going to make me do a 100-meter sprint just to get my heart rate up. There are other ways to accomplish that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen naturally through the stage anyways. You can have like a very short, low movement stage and still be gassed by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Absolutely. I mean, your heart rate's up just as soon as that buzzer goes.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, go, go, go.
Yeah. And I mean, I like to run. I would sprint every single chance I got, but yeah, everything you do in a stage needs to have a purpose in my mind. You know, if I'm going over there, or if you're gonna make me dump a firearm there, but I have to run back there, why? Have something. If I have to move in a stage, have it be a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and not this isn't specific for beginners, but I think one of the things that like a good stage design has is like multiple target. I wouldn't say arrays. Like arrays is the simple way of doing it, but multiple places where you're exposed to the targets, and that's how you force like the movement is. You got to move here, shoot these targets. You got to move there, shoot these targets through this thing. This one's an option from here or there, but if you're smart, you do it this way. Like that kind of stuff is like a good stage design. I would say a bad stage design just has like a stand and deliver. Yeah. Just like a whole bunch of targets, and then you have to reload and shoot some more. Like that's a bad stage design. I think there should always be that kind of thing.
I'm actually going to disagree with you there a little bit, because I do one stage where it's pretty much a stand and deliver, but there is movement to the side, but very minimal, like maybe maximum 5 feet. And all 3 platforms are on the table, empty. And I call it manipulations, because it is a weapons manipulation stage. You have pistol targets off to the left, pistol targets off to the right. You load up. After that first array, if you're smart, you're reloading when you're going over to the second array, because you don't have enough to complete that second array. Shoot that. Put that pistol down on the table. Like I said, you're moving maximum 5 feet side to side. And
I've done a 3-gun El Prez where you just stand and deliver all 3 guns, but you only have 1 target array per gun to kind of wail away at. Or if you could do that with like 2 target arrays and then just like have some movement in there.
Yeah, this was started in Canada. I'm actually changing it. Like I'm actually dictating your first mag capacity so that it forces the reload. But it's a stage where all guns are dry and you have to reload every gun to test your weapons manipulation.
Okay.
But it's like 1 load on the shotgun. It's 1 load on the rifle, 1 reload on the rifle, 1 reload on the pistol. So yeah, like that stage is testing your weapons manipulation. And it's a fun stage. Like I put a Texas Star out there for the shotgun. You could just blast away and just hose it. And then the paper is wide open and close, so you also get to practice and just rip on the trigger.
Ripping on the trigger is fun, though.
It is.
Yeah.
I got started talking with the shotgun reloading, and if you're gonna have a lot of new shooters, as much as I like shotgun reloading, kind of keep that to a minimum. I mean, and that's one thing I'm actually struggling with this match, is trying to keep the shotgun rounds down to a minimum, because I don't know if guys are going to have extensions. Guaranteed they won't have a way to reload. They'll be reloading out of a bag.
They'll just keep it to 12 and say max 8 in a tube, and you're done. So then if they have to reload, they're putting 4 in. Don't put any targets so far that the cylinder bore guys are gonna have a bad time, which is kind of hard to cater to. But if you want beginners to have a good time, you have to make sure that those cylinder bore shotguns can do the stage, because they can't do most 3-gun stages that we set up. You get wrecked by like a spinner or even the Texas Star. A lot of times that just like the plates don't give a shit that you're shooting them, because you're doing it with a cylinder bore and you're just like misting them with pellets, and it's like they're not coming off.
Yeah,
you got to put them close, 10 meters, everything at 10 meters, maybe even 7.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you got to make the stages interesting too, because you're gonna have experienced people there, and you don't want to drive them away.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you show us your stage design that you had set up there? Because
sure,
you were showing it a little bit before the show here, and I was like super jelly of the little kit that you had. The camera that you had set up was good. And
okay, well, just give me 2 seconds. I just gotta move my mic over.
Okay, I'll set you up as the overhead view. So much faster than the computer. And I guess you could just move your phone in to take photos from different angles to show like what you want them to do, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was doing when I took the pictures of this stage for for setup. I took different angles so you could see like there's a target right in this window here and little things. But I need to do something real quick.
Oh, maybe while you're doing that, I could show the alternative.
Yeah.
The alternative to that is share screen, window, this thing. This means nothing for the people who are on the audio show, but this is Practice Sim Designer. This is that, kind of looks like a video game, right? You get all your like targets and all that kind of stuff. I was just designing like a barrel array here that would be... This is not beginner friendly because everywhere you move, like, oh, I could see a couple of targets. And I'm like, oh, there's some other ones, and there's some other ones. Which ones have you already shot? This is the kind of stage that would make someone shoot like the same targets multiple times. Yeah, and forget some as they're like, oh, did I get that one? Did I get that one? And yeah, it would just melt the brain. But the cool thing about this one is it's very easy to like set things up. I'm like, oh, I want to do like 2 stack of barrels. I'm gonna put one right there. And I'm going to put a target over here, and I'm going to, rotate that target. Yep, something like that. And you can go take a look. Yeah, it looks good, right? And you can actually do this thing and shoot it. Go. Can you guys hear the audio?
No, we cannot.
No? Oh... You can like.
Does this work with your VR?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And then I think I'm done. How'd I do?
15.2.
Nice.
Oh, I got booze like in my headset, so I didn't do very well.
That's funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, like so that's like we've talked about SketchUp and that kind of thing, and SketchUp is good, but it's like so complicated compared to some of these other ones, right?
Yeah. So I got this stage set up here, and this is kind of set up how I'm planning on doing it for the upcoming match. So with the beginner in mind, you start with your heels on the X's here.
Okay.
And you're gonna have your pistol. So we got 2 nice close paper here. Half dozen poppers, and the small poppers here are actually hidden behind the bigger ones.
Okay.
And then 2 big poppers, paper.
Paper, okay.
And these steel here are shotguns. So there's gonna be a dump bin. There should be like a dump bin or a stage bin. So you dump your pistol in there, grab your shotgun, and go. So this paper here, I don't want you to shoot it with your pistol. I want it done with rifle, so just put it up a barrel so that you can't see it. Then you don't have to dictate, that target down there, you can see it, but don't shoot it. Like I said, I like just saying, okay, here's your targets, now shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you got half a dozen shotgun targets down the left-hand side here, And then I'm putting these barrels in because we haven't touched on it yet, but this is a really good example. 180 traps. 180 traps, I don't believe have any place in a match. You're still going to get them from time to time, but if you've got a bunch of new people shooting, do your best not to have a 180 trap. Basically, if this barrel wasn't there, person comes running down, they can still see it, and now they just broke 180. You put that barrel there,
break their
you
90.
pass the 180.
It forces them to come around,
You can't see that target anymore, so now you're not even tempted to shoot it past 180. I think, as a general rule, I think stages that have 180 traps where they wouldn't have something like that in there is a bad stage design.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And so with this stage, this is the wall setup that I was talking about. But so instead of having them back out, I'm having them come down here with the shotgun, dump the shotgun, and instead of just running back and grabbing the rifle and going in, I figure, okay, well, I got to make them do something. So I put this paper array with some no-shoots.
Okay.
This paper is blocked from view because there's a window right in here, and I want them to shoot it through there. So come in here, there's a window through here, window through there. So I like using windows where you have to really angle. So you can see, to get that guy, you're going to have to be at an angle, really tuck in there and remember that that's there to shoot that target, and then you shoot across for that. Now, if this was for like a more experienced crowd, what I'd probably do is I'd axe this, and you'd be grabbing your rifle going in, and then you'd have to come back out and shoot like a plate rack and then go on to shotgun or something like that. This would all be on the other end of the stage.
Okay.
Right? If it was a more experienced, you wouldn't need this barrel in here for a dump. And put the shotgun there so that it wasn't, okay, run in there, dump your rifle, and now you have to run back out and grab your shotgun. Same, like I was saying, every time you move is for a reason. I don't like having a lot of space in between where you don't have a firearm or you don't have something to shoot. So that's just a little example of what I was saying for ideas, and just a quick on how you could take the same setup. Like Gage made this wall setup and I thought it was cool and I wanted to use it. And okay, well, how can I do that? And that's what I come up with. There's a million ways to do it, I'm sure. But that was the first one I come to where, backing out with the long gun, that's not good. But yeah. What do you guys think?
I like it.
It's a lot of walls. I'm lazy.
It's actually not a lot of walls. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half walls and 2 full-size walls.
I like moving the least amount of equipment possible. 'Cause I'm lazy and I don't like moving a whole bunch of stuff. But you have to have walls if you want to like give those kinds of different looks and that kind of thing. And like, although this is a simple stage design, there's still some things to think about in this one. There's not a lot of complexity. There's just it's fairly straightforward, but you still have to like follow all the steps, and it's still going to give you some trouble there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like there's a way that like coming into this whole wall assembly, I think that's gonna be the biggest key, and maybe starting out with the pistol, because there will be people that see these paper and they'll want to say, "Oh, I'll take those." Where in my mind, I think what you should be doing is taking the big poppers, shoot the paper, give them time to fall, and then you take your 3 little poppers that are hidden behind, and then as you're departing that position, these guys are actually gonna be a little strafers on angle. Then you take these on the way by to get your shotgun, you ditch your pistol, and then it's bang, 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 bang. Dump your rifle, take your 3. And then when you come in here, what was I thinking? I would come in here, take that array, push in tight for that one, hit that first, and then as I'm coming out, hit that one that's right up front here, and then do the hard swing and finish off on this guy, on the far lateral shot across stage. That's why I see it, and I think your plan going into here. I mean, if you're going to go right up into the window, shoot that, and then have to rearrange and shoot that, your plan and how you execute it's definitely going to matter. Like you said, it's a simple stage, but you got to establish the flow of the stage for it to go smooth and for you to get a good time on it.
Yeah, I do like the Legos. It looks like it would be easy to build a stage with those things.
Yeah, they are definitely, they're fun.
And if you were setting up for a bay that needs to be reconfigured between stages, like let's say you're doing like a one bay match and you had to reconfigure between not between squads, you only one squad between stages, you would be encouraged to reuse your props with a Lego set like that.
Yeah,
because you know exactly what you have and where it is. So you would be able to design like completely different stages without having to move many things. Maybe you can like keep that front hook there and change where the targets are and completely change how people shoot the stage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like when you're able to do that stuff. Or if you're running a two-day match, your day one stage, you can figure out what you want to build on it, and then day two, you just reuse all the props you've got in front of you. I like that they're all right in front of you. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would make that pretty easy.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I mean, we're talking about like designing for beginners. What kind of things would experienced shooters have like enjoy more?
Memory, like, well, some do, but I would say like a memory stage.
Yeah.
Hidden targets.
Harder targets. Harder to shoot targets.
Harder to shoot, or I mean, okay, I have like two hidden paper there, but there's barrels right there. So I mean, it's not too hard to hide a target, especially if you're dealing with like clays or something like that. You can throw one that's just off and hidden that a lot of people are going to run past. It also depends on whether your terrain or whatnot. Yeah.
I like when you can be rewarded for taking multiple activators at once, but there's risk for the reward. You have to shoot faster.
Yeah.
So in order to, like, you can do this, you can shoot this steel, shoot these two activators, and then shoot the paper, and then by that time you shoot whatever target that then appeared.
Yeah.
I like that. Or the poppers that flip a clay, like having 3 of them in a row. Oh, I love it, because you can go for 3, right? Knock down all the 3 steel and then go for 3 clays all at the same time. Like that kind of 0 to hero stuff is very attractive
there's a rush that comes from that, right? So
whereas like the basic shooters can just go 1 1 1 1 and take their time on that.
Take it safe,
right?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of thing benefits both beginners and senior experienced shooters.
I like stages with options where you could see three guys in a row do it completely different.
Yeah.
So I think I like that, where it's not pretty straightforward. Okay, I go from here to here to here.
Yeah, for sure. And I think experienced shooters tend to like that more as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of newer shooters, and well, not just newer shooters, but there's people out there that they just don't care. You could have the winner of the match, the best stage plan, ran few shooters before him. They sit there and watch it, and they won't pick up on anything that shooter does, and they go out there with a complete crap stage plan. I find it funny when I see that happen, because you guys just got given the stage plan, the most efficient, and you totally. There is something to be said for just keeping your stage plan, though. But
it's what a person's comfortable with, right? If they feel like, if I change it now, I'm not going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've had guys ahead of me do that, and okay, that was pretty awesome, but I am not hitting that activator, taking out that array of pistol targets, and then getting that swinger target, or that clamshell.
Or I can't hit this little steel from this distance, so I got it from a closer spot, right?
Yep.
So
It's good to have that option to be able to take it from a closer
Yeah.
spot. Like
Yes.
so the
Well,
experienced
it's
shooter
that
can shoot it
risk
from
risk
further.
reward.
risk reward. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like seeing that kind of stuff. I like the memory stages. The odd time, I just like a straight up burner stage, like just as fast as you can, like let it
Yeah.
all hang out.
That's another rush
Yeah.
thing too, right? Where you're just like bam, 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 bam. Just
Yeah.
so.
But the funny thing is, like on a stage where there's no brains and it's all like just making noise, your experienced shooters are still faster. They're still faster.
Well,
like,
they're
shooting
going to
those
be,
stages.
they're going to be better in
Yeah.
all situations generally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but those are kind of fun because like they're junk food stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know as a new shooter, I did not like the memory stages, and now with more experience, I actually do like the memory stages. So that takes time.
It's a skill you need to build up, right? The fact that
Yeah.
like, how to break down the stage and like, hey, I need to move here and shoot this array. I need to move here and shoot this array. And you look at the ground. I need to be stopping there.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, things go sideways.
When you're new, you just see a bunch of targets everywhere. You don't see the you're not breaking them down or segmenting them, so.
Well, I really like the stages where, I have to have my toe on that pebble or I'm not seeing it. If I'm an inch either way, I'm not seeing that target. I'm not getting it. I'm losing time trying to find what's there.
Back and so.
Yeah. Stages where you have to time your steps to I love that. That is
You get to that spot and bam.
Yeah. Those are the stages that really make me dry gun air gun behind the line with my eyes closed because it's okay.
Yeah, great.
I need that step. I got this many targets. Reload and
I'm gonna say something absolute sacrilege, but I kind of like some gimmicks on some of the stages.
You were, from what I've been seeing, you're gonna be happy at the team match.
Like the odd time, like doing something really silly. Loading up your shotgun on the clock from an ammo can, or dragging a dummy, or like doing some stupid crap in between,
carrying a baby or
or an egg or something like that. Like that stuff. Like the problem with that is you don't want that at a major match where there's money on the line, or like you want to win that trophy, because then the competitive equity is ruined with that kind of stuff. But for like a monthly match or something like that, that stuff's so good. And that's stuff that experienced shooters really like, and beginner shooters are like, whoa, we had to do this. Like they like that kind of scenario stuff. That's kind of, and fun. We've had vehicles at Chas for this long. I still enjoy shooting out of a vehicle. I still enjoy the challenge of it. I still enjoy the practicality of it, and every time we do it, I like it.
I think the one stage that I would do, and it was a staple, and it's probably the gimmickiest stage I ever did, but was the golf cart run. And you talked about shooting out a vehicle. You had a driver, and it was first couple times was you controlled the speed. You could tell them to go faster, or slower, but then it ended up, no, you were going flat out. It was one final speed. You could tell them to slow down, and you're shooting out of a moving golf cart. And
not very competitively equitable, but God, a lot of fun, and very and challenging in a way that's new. So I like that kind of gimmicky stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, that's probably the gimmickiest thing I've ever put out. But on the same token, I was striving for, how do I put it? I started off with trying to emulate 3-Gun Nation. The competitive equity was something always in my mind, and really make it a competitive 3-gun match, not just we're going to have some fun and this is fun. But if a club wants to do that stuff, it all depends on what you want to get known for. I've had many conversations like Chaz. I remember the monthly matches. Okay, yeah, you're going to get some gimmicky stuff in there every now and then. I went for pure competitive equity, we'll call it textbook competitiveness or whatever. Peace River was, you could find anything out there. and I liked more of the faster stages. You went out to Prairie Fire. That was a very technical match.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had long range. They had small long range. I think they had, I can't even remember what it was, but
two 3 MOA targets at
yeah.
like 200 and 300 yards.
Yeah. Memory stages. The pebble placement stage where you have to step in this exact spot and lean this exact way to see that target. They were really known for their technical match. It was not a burner match, and lots of partials, lots of no shoots, and it's just what they became known for. So,
and then on the flip side of the coin, there's the brutality matches where, where it's just like, I'm gonna do a bunch of weird stuff and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And good shooters will still do well, but they're not going to blow everyone out of the water because everyone's going to be doing something that's brand new to them for the first time at the match, whether it be like lifting a thing or scaling a wall or tourniqueting a dummy or something like that. Like there's not really any like practice for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
but it's fun
like lifting a dummy, like that, the reason why that's not really, if you're good, that's a gimmick one, that's cool, but that's why it wouldn't be like a championship, or it lacks the competitive equities because you got people of different size, different muscle mass that just
tough shit. Hit the gym.
Well, I'm not just clarifying on why it might, if you're going for competitive equity, why it's not a good idea. But if you want to throw it out there, have fun.
Yeah. It depends on what you want to do for your match and that kind of thing. But for the odd time, I do like those. And if I know what I'm getting into, I would like that kind of thing. For a very competitive match where it's like, you know, I'm honed at my craft and I'm competing against people that I know are good shooters, I want less gimmicky stuff. So like it's like we can see who's truly the best shot. But for some like horsing around stuff, I enjoy it so much. It's so much fun doing that kind of crap.
Oh yeah, and there's matches like that, like the team match, or like I said, the monthly match in Chaz a few years ago was like that, and you just knew going into it as a brand new shooter, I would have been fine. But I don't know if that's a good question. With a brand new shooter, I think that would probably have turned more away than not.
Yeah.
Well, I disagree because early on we had a whole bunch of that. Like it was, I think someone called us like savages at one point. It was like it was accurate, well earned, but like we're turning people away for the longest time from before COVID. We were selling those things out. Like when I started in there, that was 9 years ago. It was like where our matches would be like 10, 12 people. That's it, kind of a thing. And it went from that to 70 at a monthly match.
Yeah.
And then we had all sorts of gimmicky stuff in there, but like, yeah, I don't think that turned away people. I think that not that the long days would turn away the new people more.
Yeah, true.
Which is funny because you guys have good sized long distance targets.
Yep. Yeah. But like the same thing, we have these big targets. They're, I don't know how big, like that big. You put those things out at 300. It's going to eat some people's lunch. You put it 350, 400, all of a sudden that's a stage ender for some people, right? They're just going to take their miss and move on if they're smart. Otherwise they're just going to go to war with it. And it's
I remember when those were put out at 400. I think calculated it was a 4 MOA target even at 400. And I think they're 16 by 16. The ones
but just like you got a semi-automatic rifle, just keep sending it until the blinker starts blinking, and you know you're off to the next one. But yeah, it's for a new person who doesn't know how to brace to get the stability. They'll never do it. Yeah.
I think more on the match planning. Like, well, one big one for planning stages for consideration is the reset. You don't want to put, and this is a prime example, rifle paper down at 100 yards. Yeah, okay, that's a good sized target. It's a tricky shot for 100 yards, but you don't want to have to send someone down
to reset,
to pace that target, to score and pace that target every single time.
Yeah.
And now you're wasting a whole bunch of time for the reset. If you can get it so that you can reset as the stage is being shot. But reset and how that stage is going to be reset is really something that needs to be taken into account. And with that, I know I had mentioned long range taking up extra time. Your paper and your steel targets, even at close, your different numbers of those are going to change how long your stage is.
To reset.
Steel, well, not just shooting. Steel is
Oh,
going to
that
be a
too.
longer stage than paper every time. Because paper, you shoot, you run past.
Mm-hmm.
You have a bunch of steel out on that stage. It's going to be a
You're
longer
talking
stage.
knockdown, not stuff that self resets. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking the closer stuff.
Yeah.
But the steel is
Knockdown
faster
steel.
to reset.
Mm.
So
It can be. I don't know. It can be because, like, if you think about like an array of like 4 paper targets, that's 8 rounds. It takes someone like 15 seconds, 30 seconds maybe to patch all of those. Whereas if that was a Texas Star, all of a sudden you have two people working on that thing for a minute to reset it, right?
Reset it, yeah.
Yeah. I think like a good stage will not break up target types. Like you'll have a bunch of paper over here, you'll have a bunch of steel over there, and then when you send out your resetters, they have a job, and like they just like they do their job like efficiently. You don't have them like hunting around for, oh, I got to go back here and then over here and then over there, and then I got to bring some clays and I got to put my gloves on to put the steel up and all this other kind of. No, your job is to patch, put stickers on paper. You're going to be putting steel out there. This guy's going to be putting clays and resetting the plate rack, and those kind of things are close and easy and fast to reset.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, plate rack is super easy, and I like the plate rack because you have that cord on there, so you can put that 50, 70 yards out as a rifle target, and it's super easy to reset.
Yeah,
so you don't have
heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn thing's like 200 pounds. It takes like 4 guys to get out there, and you got to get like a bobcat. But like you said, as a long range rifle target that is knockdown and not just a thing where it's like you're yelling out hit. Yeah, it's good for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think one of my final things is, and maybe you guys have a formula for it. So I'm sure someone has a formula for it. I find just through experience, but set a goal for, okay, I want the average shooter to be able to shoot this stage within this long. Like I always went like, you know what, 60 seconds. Our fast guys are going to shoot it in 30.
Okay.
Yep. Those are good times. Yep. 30, 40 seconds for your best shooters. And then the rest will be, everyone should be done. No one should hit like a 180 par time. That's too long.
Well, depending on your match.
Yeah.
Right? Like something like Rocky Mountain 3 gun, we're running 300-second par times because your stage times were anywhere between, and for the fast shooters, were anywhere between 70 and 200 seconds.
Oh my God.
Like it was a long
There was
match.
a lot of
that's not a shooting match. That's a survival match. If you can like keep your mojo going for like 3 minutes straight of shooting and moving. Oh my God.
But you bring up a good one, like running a par time. That's a good way for figuring out how many squads you need and how many people you can actually take on a given day.
Yeah, get people through it.
Because you take your par time, you can figure out, oh, I have this many stages, I can get this many squads shooting at a time, and you can figure out how many people you can actually get through, and then you can start figuring out your scheduling too. Like if you're gonna have a work squad and a shoot squad, and
for some of our listeners, the par time is the maximum time you get to shoot a stage. So you'll set up your beeper, so their timer, so that if they hit that time, it just beeps and it says you're done.
Yeah.
Gavin's saying the show is working on player, and I couldn't get player working. It just wouldn't let me save the stream. So sorry about that, Gavin.
Oops. So yeah, like figure that helps you. Like I was saying, that helps you plan your match.
Mm-hmm.
But also helps you plan your stages too, because once you get in there, I mean, I've done it. Any match directors has done it where, oh yeah, I think that's fine. You have a super short stage and then you create a bottleneck with a long stage.
Yeah.
And
Those are the most annoying matches for me to shoot. Is when there's one really bad, a minor bottleneck is inevitable. It's like a golf course. There's always going to be one of the holes that's going to be a little bit slower, and that's where the bottleneck's going to happen. But as long as it's moving kind of quickly, it's fine. It's when one of them is twice as long as the rest, and then all of a sudden it's like it's really annoying because so many people get held up, and the day goes way longer than it needs to.
Now it starts to drag.
Yeah, and that's annoying because it could have been fixed, but yeah.
Okay, here's a good one. How many people to? I know I have my number, but how many people to a squad? A squad that needs to reset while they're shooting.
Reset while shooting?
Yeah.
So there's no shoot squad, work squad then?
No. You just go around every shooter. Your squad is resetting and your squad is shooting.
A max?
A minimum.
I think a minimum.
8 to 10.
You need you could go like 5 or 6 as a minimum.
What?
But yeah.
No.
6 is a minimum.
Yeah, that's right. I disagree. My number's 10. My
Let's
number's
say
10.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
8 minimum, 10
Because
max.
you got your shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You got your on deck.
Yeah.
You got your just shot. So there's 3 shooters right there.
That are not helping.
Right, but you're talking about minimums, and you have a max would be like 10 or 12 people would be your max for a squad. You wouldn't want to have like a 15 or a 20.
Oh, a 15 person squads. Yeah, you're waiting too long.
Too long, yeah.
In between. I would say a nice number is 9 to 12. I would aim to have like 10 people on a squad that has to reset because you don't want your people just having to rush around all the time. Like, I mean, yeah, could you run it with less? No, but it's not enjoyable to the shooters. You're going to feel rushed the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So for a nice...
Yeah, but that's what you do with an undersold match. With an undersold match, you'd have smaller squads than you really want to, or you'd like pair them up. I guess if you have...
Well, we've run as much as like one squad because, we have 15 people show up. Okay, we're going to run one squad.
Yeah.
You know? Now, the 5-6. Now, if you're doing a work shoot squad, that works. But on the same, but it has its own challenges in it too.
Yeah, the work shoot squad. The advantage is I like getting into the headspace of either shooting or resetting. What I don't like is that it actually is a slower way of running the match because you end up describing the stage twice as often. You have twice as many walkthroughs and stage descriptions, and you get some time to go and check it out, and you get twice as many movements. The whole squad's got to move from this bay to this bay, and when you add all that stuff up, it's like 15 to 30 minutes, depending like how on top of it they are. That sounds long, but someone goes to the washroom. Well, now you got to wait. Now you're another 5 minutes, and then it could be 20-25 minutes, but between the last squad leaving and that squad finally shooting. So if you double that up, that work squad shoot squad thing, it can take a lot of time. But I really like the ability of just shooting, and then once I'm done shooting, I put my belt away, and now I'm ROing or resetting or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Same thing when I'm shooting. It's nice to shoot, and I'm just focused on shooting. I don't have to. I gotta go out and reset.
Mm-hmm.
That is really nice. I know I've tried to run the shoot and work on a big match, and another problem. Well, Chaz doesn't have this problem, but now you double ROs, double as many ROs.
Yeah.
Now you gotta find people to fill those places, and that was one thing I did that I wasn't actually happy with because I ended up pulling people from outside, people who had traveled to my match, and ended up getting them to RO because I didn't have the people locally to do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like, in the end, I really hate that I ended up doing that to people because I try and fill it locally with all your work stuff. People are traveling to your match, let them travel and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not shoot, it's travel and reset. Between okay, would I rather like pick up steel plates and like bend over and pick up steel plates, or would I rather just hold a timer? I'd rather hold a timer most of the time, to tell you the truth. Like, it doesn't bother me that I end up doing that at matches where I didn't sign up as an RO, because tomato, if I've got to like patch or pick up steel, or I'm just running the timer, I'll get more sun. I'll get more steps in, that's for sure. But those are probably good things for me anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, the first match I traveled for, like outside of the Peace region, and I first one, and I ended up being our squad's RO for it, because I run matches. Yeah, I'm experienced. So they show up at that match, and here's all the stage walkthroughs. You're responsible for your squad and walking them through and everything. And kind of like, okay, I was hoping to just focus on my shooting and reset. And I mean, I'll do it. I mean, I'm that person. A lot of people out there would do it, but it's just trying to be fair to the people coming to your match.
So that's where you'd run like a no work and shoot.
Yeah.
You're combining them so that you need fewer ROs.
Yeah, I'm probably what I should have done on that match, but
yeah, we should this has been a good discussion. I think one of the things we should do is before a match. So future show idea. Before a match, we show our stage designs. We proof them, and then we give our predictions on which one's going to be the slow stage, how it's going to go. And then we shoot the stage, and then we see next show. We see how it goes.
yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
I like it.
Between you and I, Kyle, because we're the ones that are. I'm only putting on minor ones where I have to, or where I really want to do something. But we'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So that's
Good topic.
I think we pretty much exhausted that.
It's enough for today.
Yeah. Yeah. We will get on to listener feedback. And someone want to run through? There were some comments that we missed here.
Yeah, there were some Facebook comments here. Do you want me to hit them?
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. Sporting Rifle was saying, make equity even. Lift a dummy for big guys and slide through a small opening for little ones. Or offer the option.
Yeah.
One equity thing that we ran across was shooting off the VTAC. Some of those top rungs on the VTAC are undoable for shorter people. So there should be other options. Like with a VTAC, the way to do it is not to say you have to shoot off this, then this, then this. It's pick 5 positions off of this thing.
Yeah.
And
you have to change position every shot or something like that.
Yeah. I think that's so there's definitely some good ways of doing that, where you give people flexibility to do what's appropriate for them. Jay was saying you need to think your stages in a match. No stage plan equals dumpster fire. Yeah, I think some of those are absolutely appropriate.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Design a 60% VTAC. Okay, but like, would you be insulted if you like, oh, Tony's coming out, bring out the kid VTAC? I'd be insulted if someone pulled out a shorty VTAC for me.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah. 180 traps are bad design. Yeah, 90 traps. I usually hear them referred to as 90 traps, like the 180 rule, or but like 90 traps, having a spot where it's tempting to shoot up range is a bad choice.
Wall position can also be one of those where if you have to go through a port on the wall, but you're advancing forward, be very cognizant of your wall position, because you don't want to have it where their muzzle hit the wall and that's what caused them to break 180. That could be a 180 trap as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking about shooting urban prone here, and the fact that like you get sand and dirt in your face from the action, and then with a braked rifle, you just get lots of dirt and mud and that kind of thing, like flying all over the place. And I remember some of those, and like I remember some of that stuff fondly. Like at Milo, I shot a CQB match where it's gravel and we're shooting urban prone, and the cases were flinging rocks into our AR actions and jamming out.
Oh,
Order the action to get these to get it to run and that kind of thing. That stuff was kind of fun though. Sean's saying the same thing. His first CQB was in sand with a 10.5-inch braked AR. That would have been loud.
Yeah,
that's a short enough barrel where that stuff's really coming into your face. Like I typically was more recently here. I've been shooting, braked WK-180s and like 18.5-inch barrels, 10-inch barrel. That would really throw the crap into your face. Yeah. And Dave was mentioning that his shadow was full of sand, and he got a hang fire from his.
Ooh.
I've seen so the CZ shadows and 1911s too, but they have like that full length rail, and like that full length rail is great for accuracy and whatnot and smoothness. But if it's cold and the grease thickens up, boy, they get real slow. Or if they get gritty and sandy, oh yeah, they just barely move. Yeah. But they're great guns otherwise. I think I got them all.
I think so.
Roughly got all the comments that were on Facebook here. Yeah. And sorry that we couldn't get that going on Player, but tried and didn't want to cooperate with us.
Yeah. We didn't get any emails this week.
Nope.
We do have a few YouTube comments, and all of them for last week's show. Wilf saying a gun safe is only to keep firearms out of the hands of kids. Anyone who thinks otherwise is just plain naive. There's videos of these safes being opened in under 5 minutes with just a crowbar. This doesn't change my opinion at all because I already had a very low opinion of them. Yep. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a few from Tony, and says, when would Adriel be ready to take RPAL students? He would sign up.
November, December, probably. I don't know. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
And he says, RPAL pistol section still needed for loaning guns. If the current situation doesn't change, that might be the only option for many IPSC beginners. Still no words on PCC Black Badge so far. And yeah, unless the owner of the pistol was at the match, and then you don't need an RPAL if you're at the range to.
Airsoft Black Badge.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Or maybe just no more Black Badge.
Yeah, that would be
just
cool.
No more Black Badge. Yeah.
Like
do we really need this thing anymore? Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I know.
Tony says, Kyle meant he carried his pistol every single day like a good citizen should. I think that was in response to the snakes.
I wouldn't carry every day.
No.
I'm lazy. I like my keychain's super small. There's no way I would carry. Only if I was going into like a sketchy area or like doing some dicey stuff. But if I was just like going to Walmart or whatever, no way.
Well, I gotta get better with that. We were talking about it. In response to you said you did nothing for this week in guns. Well, I'm gonna confess that I actually don't carry a whole lot down here. One reason being, as I was saying before the show, I need to hit the gym and start losing some weight, or just get some bigger clothes because they are not fitting the way they should. And
can't you just put the butt of the pistol underneath the roll though?
I don't have that big of a roll yet.
Oh wow.
Okay. You're saying hit the gym. I say hit the Waffle House. And
work on the roll.
Get the roll. Yeah. Then you put that appendix carry underneath the roll. No, nothing's gonna print.
Wow, that's great advice.
Yeah, I like it. Actually, of the holster for the Taurus, I gotta take some sandpaper too to clean up the edges, because the edges of the Kydex, I did carry it the one time and I gotta smoothen that up. And I don't know if the appendix carry is ever going to be like super comfortable, but possibly. But and my job, I'm not supposed to have a firearm in my truck or on the sites that I'm at. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to be a good boy and adhere to those rules. And after almost 40 years living in Canada, not being allowed to carry, it slips my mind. So
yeah, makes sense.
So that is it for YouTube. I didn't see anything on Instagram this week. Is there anything from Discord worth mentioning?
Oh, we've been talking about stuff over there. I threw
Yeah.
up some photos of that BCL, its trigger weight and that kind of thing. So
Yeah, we had a
if
little
you're
bit of a
interested-
discussion on optics over there, and
Mhm.
yeah. Okay.
Tony's on chat over there.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay. He's on voice chat.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, he's saying that Wolverine's website's down too.
Oh.
Residents at Red Deer may want to visit for one last time. Yeah.
All right. For everyone out there, we have a Cabela's link on our website. So go to our website, click the link if you're going to order something from Cabela's, and it won't cost you anything extra, but we'll get a little bit of a kickback. Also, thank you to our supporters on Player and Patreon. We're on there, and yeah, you can go find us on there if you'd like to support us. And you can also send the show an email. Send us an email, we'll read it on air. You can send that to slamfireradio@gmail.com. And shoutouts. Adriel?
Yeah, to shout out for the Alberta IPSC shooters. The Alberta Provincials were just not last week before, week and a half before. Anyways, should have mentioned it last show, but congratulations to all the winners and even the participants to that event. Congrats, guys. Many of the top shooters on there have been on our show before.
Nice. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And a suggestion for Brandon Herrera's YouTube channel again, because he's got some very spicy gun memes and takes on the most recent New Mexico thing. It's just a fun gun channel. I like it.
Well,
mine is to Gabriel, who was listening earlier. I'm not sure if he's still listening now. He finished 4th out of 82 shooters at the Northern Rimfire Series finale in Magnetawan, Ontario. That happened this weekend. It was a 2-day event, 20 stages, and he did really well. But he's getting better and better, and so I'm happy for him.
Cool. I do have a recommendation, but it doesn't really pertain to Canada. So the Guns and Gadgets YouTube channel. If you want to hear how fast things can change and what places are doing to help battle them, maybe some of it can be taken into Canada and take the same kind of approach potentially. I don't know. I like the channel. It's good for little quick daily bites.
Yeah, I think the only thing we need to do in Canada here is vote another party in at the federal level.
Yes, we definitely do. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, we're going to sign off. So join our Discord, watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Player. Join the CCFR, and we will see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night, Kelly.
Good night, Dave.